Hey, how's it going guys? Mason here, and today we're going to be recording a Wiz video on my fire gear sets for my max 130 fire. Few disclaimers before this video starts. This is for PVE only. I don't do PvP on my max wizards currently. Possibly will in the future, but we'll have to see. I do legendary and magus PvP currently on my alt account. Also, these gear setups are in my opinion only, and what I believe are the best gear in the game. If you don't agree, then that's perfectly fine. That's the beauty of Wiz. You can wear whatever you want. And also, this video is recorded August 23rd, 2019. So if anything's changed, you might not want to watch this video because it might be outdated. But for right now, it's pretty updated. So yeah, also I have a max death who I'm going to be showing off in another video, so make sure to look out for that. Also a exalted life I'm going to be getting to max hopefully pretty soon. And yeah, there we go. Also check out my Twitch if you would like to. I stream Wiz once in a while, also stream Overwatch, but I've been questing on this guy, my level 68 ice in Zafaria. So if you want to come join me, I stream once in a while and you can check that out. So let's go start this video off with the first set. I've tried this a couple times so far and I've really just taken way too long explaining stuff. So I'm going to try to speed through it as quickly as possible. I am going to show off individual gear, like individually, like every piece of gear individually I should say. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. And first set I'm going to start with is the speed set 1. You can kind of take a look at what I have there. You want to pause the video. There you go. Okay, now we're going to get into every item. And then after each set, I'm going to show off the stats and show off everything that I have going on in the stats wise. So the first thing is the Fiery Paradox Conical. It drops from, I believe his name is Vigilant Sargon. He's the first boss in the Husk in Imperia, at the end of Imperia Part 2. This setup is meant for critical. I get 100% critical and pretty high damage, good amount. It's low resist though, so you're kind of a glass cannon, but that's how it goes sometimes. With setups, you have to sacrifice stuff. And yeah, so the Fiery Paradox Conical is the hat that I use. An alternative would be the Kabbalist Cleansing Hood. Another good damage hat, but it's basically just lower stats on every level than the Fiery Paradox Conical, but it gives Pierce instead of accuracy. So if you want the Pierce, then go for that, but Pierce shouldn't be your #1 priority. It should be damage crit and stuff like that for this setup. The next thing is the Mali robe. I use as my robe. I've been using it for a while since Darkmoor came out, so it's just been good since then, really. Hopefully we'll get a new dungeon soon, get a new robe or so, but for right now, Malistaire robe is still the best in the game in my opinion for fire. There is the Tennyson robe, which I believe is only good for spiritual schools, like Myth, Death, and Life. And then there's the Bone Smasher robe, which is like really similar stats to this, but in my opinion I like the Malistaire robe better. So those are the alternatives. You can get the Bone Smasher robe from the Exalted Rattlebones Gauntlet or Challenge thing, and the Tennyson robe you get from Tennyson, who's a golden key boss in the Xanadu Sewers. The Malistaire robe you get from Malistaire in Darkmoor Part 3. And he is the easiest to get the one of the 3 robes from because he has a chest. So if you want to spam the chest, like I think I did, it was a while ago, but I think I spammed the chest and got it. So yeah, the next thing is the boots. I actually use something different than a lot of people. I use the Nimbari Horde Pack boots. Not even gonna try to pronounce this because I'll just get it wrong, but Nimbari Horde Pack boots. Also I have this stuff all stitched, just by the way, so it's not going to look like this, but I use the Nimbari Horde Pack boots. I can go over my stitch maybe in a second video if you guys want to know what I stitch my gear to, but that's, I don't know, maybe if I get enough someone comments saying that they would like that, then I'll go ahead and do that. But for right now, this is just on the gear and the stats. So yeah, this, like I was saying, the Nambari Horde pack boots come from the Nambari Horde pack, which you can get in the Crown Shop for $3.99. The boots people normally use are the Paradox boots, but I use this one because it was easier to get just from the pack. If you have some crowns, it's a really nice bargain to get. It's pretty easy to get it. I got it in a few packs when it first came out. And yeah, it has the same damage as the Paradox boots, has around the same crit, has more health, I believe. It has incoming instead of no incoming. I believe it has the same shadow pip chance, maybe 1% less. I'm not looking at the page right now or anything, so I don't know. And then the resist is a lot more than the Paradox boots. The only downside is you don't get power pip, so that's the one downside from these boots. And yeah, the Paradox boots you get from the same guys you get the hat from, and like I said, you get these boots from the pack. So yeah, moving on to the wands. I use the Jack Hallows Blues wand, which is the Harrowing Nightmare pack wand. There is a pretty hard chance of getting this wand in my opinion, because every school has a crit wand in that pack, so you have to get lucky. But it is a very, very worth it wand. It's the best crit wand in the game, and the 120 or 110 version or whatever is basically the exact same, just one more incoming, so it's not a big deal which version you get. I got this when 100 was the max. So yeah, I would get this. There is no really alternatives other than a few expired or retired packs, I should say, or retired bundles, that is. The Shard Warrior's Hammer is a good one, and then the Polarian Pickaxe from the Polarian Explorers bundle is a good one. I actually used that on my Storm because I wasn't able to get the Storm version of this. But I'm probably going to try for it again this year, since Halloween packs should be coming out again in like a month or so. So yeah, you guys will be able to get this again, which will be really nice. The Athame is a big toss-up, I would say. You can use either the Edge of the Shadow Web or the Edge of the Raging Daystar. In my opinion, I like the Edge of the Shadow Web just for the extra 1% damage, but the Edge of the Raging Daystar does have better stats all over like everything else pretty much. It gives 2% extra accuracy if you need that, 2% extra power pip if you need that, a little extra health. It gives incoming instead of outgoing, which is really nice. Just one extra block. Yeah, basically it's better in that aspect, but in my opinion, I'm just going for like all out damage, so I'm trying to get as much damage as I can. So 17 is a lot better than 16 for me. Also, they have the same sockets, but I have socketed in Pierce, then health and accuracy. In this one down here, I have a second one. I have socketed in critical, just in case for any of my other sets I need critical, but I was actually at 100% critical without them socketed in, so I used the Pierce one instead. But if you don't have 100%, then make sure to use like one of these Athames with the socketed crit. The next thing is the amulets. I use the Morganth Stark Charm amulet. Oh yeah, also this Athame you can get from Morganth. It's the Morganth Athame, Morganth in the Shadow Palace. The amulet is Morganth Stark Charm, same place. You can get it from Morganth from the Shadow Palace. I know it's not as good as the Shane Von Shane amulet. The amulet from Shane Von Shane is literally just better stats, like a little bit better. Except for I think block is like less, but that's the alternative. The only reason why I use this is for the Fireblade cards. This one gives 2 Fireblades, the other one gives like an aura or something, but stacking Fireblades and just blades in general is like really good in PVE, so I would say use this one because you need the blades, but that's just my opinion. Also, I have socketed in stun resist, and I feel like that actually happens a good amount of time where stun resist. So I would go ahead and socket that, or socket flat resist. The ring here, I feel like a lot of people get this one wrong. They like to use the paradox ring, the fire paradox ring. But if you look at the stats, the Mithria's Blazing Loop is actually just better. It gives more health if you count in the socket. If you socket in health, then you get more health than the paradox ring. Also, it gives incoming, more incoming than the other. And it gives 1% extra damage. The only thing it lacks on is critical a little bit. But I already have 100% critical with this setup, so it doesn't really matter to me. Then on the pet, I use this Ordinary Kookaburra, and it's just a triple. I use the Kookaburra just for the Fire Blade. The other cards are kind of irrelevant, so don't really worry about the pet, other than I would go for one that gives a Fire Blade card. I'm also kind of crazy when it comes to pets, so I like to have my max stat pets. So like I'll go crazy, like going for 2.0 pets. This one isn't a 2.0, but it's pretty close. It's as close as I could get it. It still gives me max stats. It still gives me like the 10 dealer and 32 on the critical. What is that? What talent is that? Fire Assailant. Not Fire Assailant. Yeah, Fire Assailant. So yeah, as long as you get the max stats or the max damage and crit that you can get, then that's pretty much all you're looking for. Also, you don't need to socket Pain Giver. I just got unlucky and had to socket it, so yeah, that's that. The next thing is the mount. I use the Fire Gulcher mount just because that's what I got. I've opened up, I swear, like 1,000 Gulcher's Horde packs. It's something crazy like that. Going for the Death Gulcher, which I'll talk about in the Death video. But yeah, I got the Fire Gulcher, and basically it's just an extra 3% damage for fire. If you don't have it, it's whatever. I would try to get some stat mount, but if not, that's okay. Then the deck is interchangeable. You can get either the Rasputin deck here. I use the Rasputin's Deck of Gall. Oh yeah, also coming back to here, the Mithria's Blazing Loop you get from the Mimic in Agrabah. So he's a gold key boss in Agrabah. And the Fire Gulcher you get from the Gulcher's Horde pack. Just to explain that a little bit. The deck I use mostly is the Rasputin's Deck of Gall, like I was saying. It just overall gives the good copies for the spells, and it gives good crit, good health. I use the one with the triangle slot, so I can add in pip chance, or you could add in accuracy if you don't have enough, or swap them and add pip chance on this one, accuracy on this one. Either one. But another deck that I feel like should be noted is the Xanadu, Blazing Xanadu deck. The only thing that makes this one not as good, in my opinion, is the copies. It only gives 4 max copies for like all schools, other schools, and then 6 for fire. It gives more health and crit. I don't need the more health and crit, but it is nice to have that. I guess if you do need some extra crit. And then also I have the Shadow Pip socketed in instead of normal Power Pip chance, just so I can do a strat with hitting with Raging Bull like every time I get it, pretty much. So yeah, I would just go for the Rasputin deck. It's still probably the best deck in the game, the Rasputin's Deck of Gall. But if you want a small deck for like hitting mobs and stuff like that, then the Blazing Xanadu deck is probably the better one for that, just because it gives a little bit of extra stats. Okay, now going on and showing my stats here. I have 139 damage to fire. I would say that's probably the highest you can get for having 100% critical. 35 to ice, 6 to all other schools. Doesn't really matter that part. Resist 29%. Yeah, you're kind of a glass cannon, but your fire, you have a little bit more health than storm, so it's a lot nicer than that. Accuracy, you have 100% accuracy here with 36%. With 36%, You won't fizzle Raging Bull. You won't fizzle any spell pretty much. All you need is 30%. So yeah, or 25 if you aren't gonna cast Raging Bull. But who wouldn't cast Raging Bull? It's the best spell for fire. Yeah. Now moving on to crit. See, I have 100% crit here. I think 835 is the 100% max, or the 100% cutoff. Also, if you go back to the ring, you are going to need to have a good jewel socketed in there for crit. So yeah, I get 100%, like 1% to all other schools, doesn't matter. Block, doesn't matter, your glass cannon. Armor piercing, 14%. You could have higher percent, I guess, but you're probably not going to have 100% crit. Incoming 21, outgoing 31, doesn't really matter the outgoing, incoming is 31, my bad. Incoming 31, outgoing 21. Outgoing doesn't matter, you're not healing someone else, but incoming is pretty nice. Stun resist 5%, pip conversion 2%, just the base, and then the power pips are 85% and shadow pips are 9%. But if you want to throw on the Xanadu deck, you are going to drop in power pip, but your shadow pip is going to be like through the roof if you socket the same thing that I have socketed. So that's the first setup. The next one is my main set, which isn't really my main set, to be honest. I don't use it as often as my speed set, but it's definitely a good setup for just overall whoever you're fighting. Paradox hat, Mali robe, Numbari pack, boots. The wand though is the Numbari pack wand. I use that instead of any other wand because it gives the most damage of a wand in the game, I believe. 23%, which is huge. It's kind of funny because I crafted the Ignis's Focus Torch Staff, the Revered wand, and then this comes out like the next day, and it literally just gives more damage, more crit, the same pretty much pip conversion, everything like that. The only thing it doesn't give is pierce and then the gardening stats and whatever, but who cares about that? You can just use a gardening wand or whatever. So yeah, basically the Ignis's Focus Torch Staff, unless you're PvPing, it's not really useful. It does give 2 square slots instead of the 1 on the Numbari, but I don't even use the 1, like, because I don't have a flat resist jewel. Let's see, I have some arena tickets, so we could buy some, but just from some tourneys I've done. Then the Athame, you can use either one. If you have 2, like I'm suggesting you get, you could use the crit one that you have socketed with crit, because then your crit would go up to, let's see, 63%, from like 56 or so. Where is it? Right here. Yeah, 56. So yeah, it's either one. It's whatever you want. If you want more pierce, then go for the pierce sockets. If you want more crit, go for the crit sockets. Basically how it works. Then I use the Morganth's Dark Charm again, just for the blades. The ring, Mithrae's Blazing Loop again. This time I use a Fire Wardle as my pet. It's a triple double pet with max stats. I think it's actually a 2.0 pet this time. I don't remember. No, it's just like 1 off here and 3 off here or so. Okay, maybe it's still off, but it's close enough. It still gives me the 7 and 11 and then the 11 and 6 for the Spellproof and Defy. So yeah, it just has a Mighty Jewel socketed onto it, and it's this cute little guy. So yeah. Then the mount I use is the Fire Gulcher again. The deck, like I was saying, interchangeable. Rasputin or Blazing Xanadu deck, depends which one. Right now I'm using that one, so we're gonna see I have 165 damage to fire, 46% resist, 36% accuracy, 56% crit because I'm using the Pierce jewels instead. 14% Pierce, block doesn't matter. Incoming 24%, stun resist 5%. Pip conversion is actually 31%, which is kind of nice. The power pip is actually pretty low. There are a few things you could do to change that if you need it higher, but like I was saying, I'm using the shadow pip socket instead. It could be 85 if you swap it, or get like an even higher pip jewel one. I think there's one for 12%. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you could get higher power pip, but I'm not really focusing on power pips as much. I'm just trying to get that shadow pip to hit. You could also, like I was saying, use the paradox boots, and that will give you power pip as well. So yeah, that's that setup. And then the final setup is kind of just a fun one for as much damage as you can possibly get. Also, I should say real quick, for the main set, if you want to have more resist, if 46 resist isn't enough for you, if you're fighting a really hard boss, the Crocopatra's hat or the Malastare hat is very good too for that. It gives actually more crit than the Fiery Paradox Conical, but it gives 15% less damage, so you're going to lose a lot of damage. You're going to lose a lot of stats like that, but you will have 58% resist, so that's pretty nice. And also, you won't have 100% accuracy, which is something that kind of sucks, unless you want to socket accuracy, or you want to use the Edge of the Raging Daystar, I guess. That would give you 100%, so that's something nice, but I hardly ever use the Crocopatra hat. I normally just stick with the Paradox hat to have the 165 damage. But yeah, the next one, like I was saying, is the damage set. It's kind of just a fun set. Fiery Paradox Conical, Robe of Malastare, Nambari Wand again. The Athame is the same one, like I was saying. You could just swap it out for crit if you want to have more crit. The amulet here, you can use the Morgantz one, but if you want to get the most, you can use the lower zigzag one. It gives 2%. I don't have anything socket do it right now, but it gives 2% damage. So if you want to have the most damage possible, go for that. Then the Mithraeus Blazing Loop again. The pet here is a Quint damage pet with a, you can use a Mighty or a Brilliant Jewel or whatever it's called, to get the will up or the strength up. And I just went for a Blaze Beast because I wanted the what's it called? The blade again. But I actually have this pet right here, this Ultra Fire Gnome in the hatchery. So if you guys want to get the same pet, all my pets are in the hatchery, the ones that can be, that is. So just look for these in there. But yeah, here's a Quint fire damage pet with the max stats possible. Fire Gulcher again. Then I have my boss deck because I'm probably just going to be hitting with a boss in that case. And yeah, I'll get 174 damage, which is actually crazy. 26% resist, 36 accuracy, 49% crit. That's without the armor piercing jewels, or that's with the armor piercing jewels, my bad. Block doesn't matter again. Incoming 24. Power pip 85%, a lot better. 9% shadow pip bonus, and then 31% for pip conversion again. So yeah, those are my setups for my Fire Wizard. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions on what I should do for this channel, or what I should do for my Fire Wizard, if I should change anything, then let me know. But anyway, this is a fun video to make, and I will see you guys later, hopefully in the death video. But yeah, it's been Mason. I will see you guys later. Goodbye.